Let me see. Let me just test. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Let me double check something real quick. Let me see. Let me just test. Okay.
I'm up and
1
running.
2 1 2
Ah,
1 2
nice.
1 2. Okay. Hello guys.
Okay.
How is everyone doing? I am trying to, let me just first fix the audio settings. I think this should be fine for the time being. We apply. Okay, nice. Actually, now I can't hear anything. I think this should be fine for the time being. Hi guys, what's up? Two things that are gonna be happening here right now. First thing is I'm actually gonna try out something new. I mean, something new for this channel, but definitely nothing new for me. I've been playing this game for just a little bit as of recently, but as of 10, 12, 15 years ago, not quite sure when, I was playing this game like a baller. Like, this is a very old game, but a very fun one. We're gonna be playing Medieval 2 Total War. This is from the Total War series. I haven't played much of other Total War. I'm not gonna say expansions, I mean they're all different games by themselves, but Medieval 2 holds a special place in my heart, so that's why I'm kind of returning to it. And the second thing, I got a new microphone, right? So I am using this as an excuse/opportunity to test this bad boy out as well. So I am streaming, so this is all gonna be raw audio, and I am looking to see how the raw audio sounds. Okay, without further ado, let me just check one more thing. Okay, I think I should be set. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start a campaign. To be honest, I have no idea what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna play this out. Like, I have not planned this at all. To be fair, I just got the new microphone and I wanted to test it out, as this is one of the games that I've been playing recently. I'm gonna choose this as my like niche option, so to say. So, okay, let's see. My god, so many things to choose from. Like, I've played with several of these factions, not all of them, definitely. Let's see. So we got the standard first five, like the Venice, Spain, Holy Roman Empire, France, England. You got the other ones that you unlock later, like Sicily, Milan. You got some Middle Eastern options, like Moors. Actually, this is more like Africa, to be quite honest. Like the Turks, Egypt, and I mean, do we classify Byzantians and Middle East as Middle East? I don't think so. I mean, they're mostly in Greece, like southern Balkan Peninsula area, so I guess they're kind of Europe-ish. You got the Northerners, you got the Russians, you got the Danes, you got the Eastern Europe, you got some of that Poland, Hungary. Like, I don't want to start with any of these five, like, classic ones. Although, personally, Venice is, like, a big favorite for me. I love Venice so much. For some reason, no idea why, I just love playing with Venice. I am considering with, like, something of a smaller faction for starters. Or just going with Venice. Oh my god. Yeah, for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna start with Venice. If I decide to make this into a series, if I decide to either stream or just pre-record things and like edit and stuff like that, then I'll put a lot more thought and effort into it. This is just mostly to try out the game and mostly to try out the microphone because I'm super excited about the microphone. This is the same microphone that's going to be used in the Elden Ring series and all of my World of Warcraft streams and everywhere else basically where you hear my voice. This is going to be the machine that's going to send my voice to you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to set the campaign rules as long. Like I'm going to set everything to medium difficulty and advice level like we can say, I'm just gonna keep telling me everything because I have no idea what else new I might learn. So I'm just gonna keep the advice level and tell me everything, and if we know stuff, then we're just gonna skip the advice altogether. So let's go ahead.
The most serene Republic of Venice, as it is known, has become a power through control of trade to the Levant that expands through the Adriatic and Aegean seas. A new class is emerging in this city-state. A class of those who seek to profit in all things. And in these times, what can be more profitable than war?
Indeed.
To the ruling Doge, war is simply another avenue for commerce. Soldiers' lives are spent like currency, so that the few can rise to prominence and power.
That's a very altruistic thing to do for the Doge. Okay, so before I start with the actual campaign, I'm actually gonna just go ahead and send this stream to a couple of places just to like do a bit of self-advertisement. Hey. Okay, I have some first feedback as well. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay, let me just do this real quick. Second, this, and then this, and then I'm gonna do that on here as well, then I'm gonna do it here as well. I think this is gonna be okay for the time being. Okay, so let me just see sound options. I'm gonna like keep everything up to around 50-ish%. I think that should not overrun me, but we'll test it out, see how it goes. So, guys, welcome to the magnificent and quite humble in the same sentence Kingdom of the Venice Republic. Kingdom of Venice Republic, that sounds about right. So Venice starts with 3 settlements, 2 of them being cities. We have the capital here, so this is, I think this is classified with the stone wall as like a city. As soon as you get the stone walls, I think it's classified as a city. I can't see it right now because it says it's the capital. And we have like a castle, middle tier settlement for unit production, and we have Heraklion right here, which is like a town because we have like a wooden palisade, wooden fence. So if we upgrade to the wooden wall, it's gonna be a large town. So I mean, let's take a look around. Let's see what we got here. Like we have the Romans the Holy Roman Empire to the south of Venice and to the north of us. Like, they have this random city, and everything here is like Holy Roman Empire. Like, they have 2 castles and 3 cities, and 1, 2, 3 cities here, and then like random city right here, right? We got the Milan to the left, we got the Rome, the Vatican, and Sicily to the south, and we got the Hungarians to the east. So, fun times to be had. Let me just start off. I usually like to start my turns by dealing with the cities primarily. So, let's just see what we can do with Venice. So, let's see. We have income, see, so taxes, it's almost 700 gold. We got 360 from the harvest, which is average. I mean, it's kind of okay to invest. I mean, it's always good to invest in farming and harvest, because it's gonna improve your population growth, and you always want to have your population growing, so you have your tax base. Like, taxes are gonna be kind of the most of your income in almost all scenarios, right? Like, trade is gonna be big, yeah. Farming in some rare cases or almost never is gonna be big, but taxes are gonna be your main income here, right? So the more people, the more population grows in your cities, the more money you're gonna get by default using them as your tax slaves, so to say, right? So yeah, like, we can either do this, and we have this blinking stats right here, icon. So this is something that's gonna happen in the future. So for an example, if I select Merchant's Wharf, this is gonna increase our trade here, right? And if I remove it, see, it's now 152. If I give Merchant Wharf, it's gonna go to 239, and then later, once it's fully built and the trade routes are established, it's going to be 273, right? But this is just like something for showcase. For example, if I were to implement farms, you would see here that we would have more income from farms and more population growth from farms. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm actually, what's the public order like? Garrison, law, buildings of enter. So they're not gonna mind if I bump their taxes up. Like, yeah, it's still on 160%. Like, yeah, let's give them a very high tax rate, just because of the fact that they have the privilege to live in the greatest city in the world. We're gonna call this New York of the medieval times. And like you can see, the difference between like normal tax rate, 1331, and very high tax rate, like you get 350 gold more each turn, which is a very big deal. So as long as your people don't mind it, and as long as you provide the people things, buildings, and content that's gonna keep them content, you're gonna be able to milk as much money from them as possible. So I'm gonna see what to do here. Like, actually gonna go with the communal farming, because I do want my population to grow. It's gonna be done in 3 turns, so, and it's a relatively cheap upgrade for the time being, so I believe we do have this luxury to afford it. Let's see Ragusa. So this is gonna be our castle and our main unit production center, because we only have 1 for the time being. The population growth is like super slow here. I'm not gonna bother with income too much with castles, because castles are not there for income. They're here for pumping units out. So let's see, what do we have? We have knight stables. We got stables, sorry. We got a mustering hall. We got a port and some roads. So we can recruit some peasants and some cavalry. I would like, let's see, so we got sergeants, spearmen, and peasants. I would like to have access to some, I mean, both spearmen and archers, right? But like, if we're gonna be conquering cities, I would prefer spearmen, just because of the fact that they're gonna be the ones charging in and taking control of enemy settlements, right? So there's also a whole battle context of this game, which is very cool. I'm a huge fan of it. Not that good, by any means, definitely, But I'm learning, I'm getting there, and I'm having, most importantly, a lot of fun. Let's see what we have in Heraklion. So this is like a little island city. We can upgrade it, actually. This is ready to be upgraded. Let's see, what do upgrades give us? So reinforced gates, extra wall defenses, and we get a number of free upkeep units to 3. Currently, we have none. So 3 units will have free upkeep. So for example, if you right click on any unit in your game, you're gonna see here that there's like a recruitment cost and upkeep, like among other stats, which we're gonna go over slowly. But so this is like the amount of money you need to, like this is like, consider it a wage for the soldiers, right? And if we get free upkeep, that means we're not gonna have to pay the soldiers. Like 3 units in city are gonna be wage free. Oh my god. If so, for example, here, if you put very high tax rate, they're gonna be very pissed. Let's see what's actually bothering them. So I'm gonna drop back to normal tax rate to see what other problems. So distance to capital. Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot teleport you to to Venice any closer. They do have religious unrest and some squalor. I mean, given the fact that cities are my biggest source of income, and the people, specifically taxes most likely, are going to be my biggest source of income, I do want to keep them happy. So, I mean, if they have religious unrest, let's give them a church. It's going to give 5% for happiness. Religion conversion bonus 1%. So this is like the amount of time necessary for a region to be converted to your main religion, which is in this case Catholicism, right? So every turn you convert a certain percentage of the region, certain percentage of population to that religion, and this every new tier of the church is gonna increase that speed, right? Okay, so that's gonna cover the settlements and building improvements. Let's see what else we can do. So we have several units. We have the diplomat, we have the cardinal, we have the merchant, the spy, and an army here. So this is like Italian spear militia and peasant archers, basic stuff. Okay, so let's first enter some negotiations, right? Like, I want to establish some trade, just speed up the movement. I want to increase some trade income with all of the neighboring factions. Like, I'm gonna start here with Central Europe, but we're neighboring with a lot of factions. So that's why I like Venice a lot, because we're neighboring a lot of factions, which means both by land and by sea, which means trade can be a huge deal for us. So for the time being, we've established trade talks with the Holy Roman Empire. Next, we're gonna go to Milan. Okay, we have a merchant here. So merchant, you just kind of set him, you just kind of set him on resources, like these little items you see on the map, and they're gonna be able to trade the resources. So different resources have different values. We're all gonna talk about that in the future a lot. Like, how good is this merchant? It's pretty decent for a start. Tusco the logo. Let's see. So this gives us 20 florins. This gives us 20. This gives us 15. 9. Like, we got the silver mines here, which are the most lucrative. Let's get them to iron first. Or shall we? You know what? Let's set them here on textiles. Let's have it, just because of the fact that this merchant is also going to be approaching as well, and I kind of want to start establishing aggressive mercantile dominance with this faction. The cardinal, so he's converting your population. So you can see here, if you hover with your mouse over territory, you can say 85% Catholic, 87, 95, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, we can, and this is 95%, this is 85, and this is more than fine. We can just keep him here, to be honest. Just keep him here, should be more than fine. we have the spy. So you can send spy onto enemy units, cities, armies, and get further information. You can get a certain amount of information just by moving close to settlements and armies, but not everything can be uncovered. For example, some units have perks, traits, bonuses that can be uncovered only if you actually send the spy specifically to spy on those people, right? But since we have nothing important to spy on, we're just gonna send it near Zagreb. I am gonna make Zagreb my first conquest, definitely, because I have an army right here, and it's a pretty decent army. I think we can. So they have the archer militia. They're kind of the same as peasant archers, but not really actually. So archer militia is good in melee. Peasant archers are just like, we have the same missile attack, but archer militia is just good in melee as well. They can cover their area. And we have the Croat Axemen. Oh my, these guys are tough. So they have a lot of attack and decent amount of defense as compared to our people, which are a bit more bulkier, a bit more tougher, but less attack. So let me see actually. With certain generals can recruit mercenaries in certain regions of the game, and they vary from region. Like for example, here you can get some spearmen, here you can get like for example Croat Axemen. I think they're specific for the Zagreb region. So let's see actually. I'm just gonna let's do this. So we can get mercenary crossbowmen, which are very good missile attack units, and the mercenary spearmen, which are kind of like our militia, like a bit more bulky and a bit less strong. So I'm actually gonna get a unit of mercenary crossbowmen just to help our archer crew out. I'm gonna send them here. For example, see, now you can recruit Slav mercenaries and Balkan archers, which are kind of suboptimal. Like you can see here, melee attack 2, missile 5. Like most of the archer units have missile attack 5, but everything else varies. So I say it's kind of not even worth it. Like, let me see the Slav mercenaries. Their upkeep is kind of low. Yeah, let's get one group of one battalion of Slav mercenaries at this point, just to make sure that we have enough manpower. And let's see, is there something else to be done? I'm just gonna also, my fleets, I'm gonna send them to my docks just to be safe.
Your orders?
Oh, I love the fact that Venice starts with big fleets, like 4 battalions of galleys, both near Venice and near Heraklion. Like that's big, big, big. Okay, so let's see here. I think we are ready to attack Zagreb.
Yes, my lord.
So we're gonna send our unit to attack. Next turn, unfortunately, we will be able to take him out. But given the fact that we have this turn covered and we know what we're gonna do with Zagreb, we know what's waiting for us, I'm actually gonna send my spy to either Florence or down here. There's also a rebel settlement here. So you have factions that are like specific, and you have the rebels. So rebels are kind of like commonplace all around the world, like Europe, North Africa, Middle East, and so on and so forth. So these are kind of like independent settlements that are refusing to join any of the factions, and everyone by default is at war with the rebels, and rebels are by default at war with everyone, right? And I think you actually can't, let me see. Actually I can't do it right now. I think you actually can't negotiate peace with rebels. You can just bribe them to join you. So there's 2 options of getting rebels to join your faction and your cause: by bribery or by necessary measures. So yeah, I'm actually gonna send my spy down here towards this rebel region right here. So if you right click You can see that it's called the Durazzo region, and you can see the logo of the rebels. The only reason I'm doing that is because of the fact that I have Ragusa down there, and I can produce units for my military down there. But for example, if I were to attack Florence, there's nothing I could actually reinforce my army with to send it to Florence, right? So because cities, like, they can recruit units, military units, but they are not comparable to castle units, right? They're kind of like more of a police militia kind of persuasion, while Fortress produces legitimate war-ready units, right? Okay, so we just ended our turn, and there's a new turn happening. So we are losing a lot of money, but that's more than fine, just because of the fact that we are spending a lot of money building things, and we are not yet well established. Our trade routes are not well established quite yet with other factions, but don't worry, we'll be changing that. So we get Cristiano Salvo. He gets a trait increase, +1 chivalry. Let's take a look. So that's this guy right here. So let me just close this real quick. So chivalry is chivalry affects many things. For example, chivalry gives morale for all units on battlefield, and when chivalrous commanders are placed in cities, people actually like chivalrous governors, chivalrous commanders. So when you have a chivalrous commander, chivalrous governor, you're going to attract more people to move to your city, which is very good. So any kind of chivalry increase is a big deal, right? And we get the construction complete Heraclea. Okay, so we have a church built here. So that's going to work our way up towards religious unrest. The thing is, we didn't get an increase in public order regarding this because we just created a church. Now we have to actually recruit a priest to start holding sermons, right? Spreading the word of Lord to the people there. And since we actually have the church, I'm not gonna invest into anything yet before we get the wooden wall upgrade, right? Because when you upgrade a city, you also get new tiers of buildings available for your city. And the population still here is growing, right? But for example, Squalor is a stat, so to say, that is governed by, I'm not gonna say unrest because you actually have unrest here. It's like having disorganization and lack of law and lack of space in the city for the city and the population to grow, right? So we're gonna go over that a bit more in the future, but for the time being, let's just give these guys bigger walls. My merchant is here, and I'm considering to attempt acquisition of the enemy merchant. So you can target enemy merchants, not any merchants whatsoever that are not in your faction, and you can buy them out. They're trading their thing, and if you buy them out, they stop trading, and you buy out their profit. So I'm actually not gonna buy them out just yet. Like, okay, I have a 52% chance, but I do want to keep it, like, I do want to keep it a bit more. I want to make it a sure thing. So for the time being, I'm just gonna kind of follow him low key. I'm gonna send my merchant here to start trading textiles from here. So we have a shot at this area right here with the silver mines, which are also very good. So we have a diplomat here. Let's go ahead and send him to Milan. So our path is blocked because we encountered the city. So Milan, let's see. So their priorities are trade. The reputation is mixed. Their power is weak. Wealth is meager, and religion is Catholic. So technically, they want trade rights. So because we know what they want, we can actually use that to leverage things that we could get out of them. So for an example, we could offer trade rights to them, and we can demand map information from them. Like, we can demand what they have discovered so far, their cities, where they're built, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and try and make this offer. Awesome. Okay, perfect. So we have successfully established trade rights. We're gonna increase Venice primarily Venice income, because the Venice now is going to be trading with Milan, and we can also now see that there's another city available for us to see, Genoa, right? So now we have kind of leveraged them because they know what they want. They know we know what they want. We have kind of used it to leverage them to give us what we want, and we just want more information, especially close to us right now. We want to know what's happening where and things like that. So with that out of the way, I'm actually going to send my diplomat down. I want to establish diplomatic talks with the Vatican and the Sicilians below. I want to try and establish some trade overseas. And I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna recruit a unit of Italian spear militia, and then I'm gonna send. So let's see what we have here. So we have the crossbowmen and the Italian spear militia and something else I don't know. Like Florence is kind of a big bite for me, but if I can train some units in Ragusa, for example, mailed knights, and let's actually see, let's compare. So we got the mailed knights, the horsemen, we got 10 attack, 6 charge bonus, and 14 defense. And you have the mounted sergeants with 9-4 compared to 10-6, and a little less of a... Mounted sergeants are the lesser armed cavalry that ride in support of the knights. They comprise squires, rich commoners, or lesser nobility that cannot afford the expensive armor of a real knight. Although they cannot compare to real knights in battle, with their spears and swords they can perform valuable service against lighter enemies. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to get a unit of mailed knights and mounted sergeants. So like the description says, I want to send them in together. Like for example, we can send the mailed knights first because they're a bit more bulkier. I'm going to send them in to charge, and following them I'm going to either use the mounted sergeants to either support or go around and flank, which is also a good option. So our boy, Councillor Bartholomew, so to say. Let's see what he has traits. So energetic, superb administrator. This is going to be very handy for a city. Political animal. Promising commander and heir apparent. Nice. Okay, so pretty decent commander, pretty decent governor material. We're just gonna attack Zagreb right now. So since Zagreb is a village, they don't have any walls, they don't have any defenses, we don't have to actually siege them. We can, but we can also immediately assault them. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and get ourselves some Zagreb. So you can always withdraw, you can automatically use the computer AI to balance the strength of one of your forces and the enemy forces, or you can fight the battle yourself. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna fight the battle ourselves. Okay, let's see. So the weather is kind of nice. The snow is kind of drizzling, but sorry, I was having my coffee.
To send men into needless peril during battle. If I ask something of you, it is necessary. And I will not expect more of you than I would ask of myself. I have found that just orders are readily obeyed, and victory is the result.
Well said, sir.
These rebellious knaves and villains are not fit to breathe the same air as we honest men. They must all die before dawn comes again. This is a mercy, because they richly deserve the gallows for turning against their betters.
So pretty brutal talks right there.
Now lift up your banners and march away. To glory, good soldiers, and a bloody day!
We got some mercenary crossbowmen right there, getting ready to kick some ass. Oh man, the crossbowmen are so good. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have 3 units of spear militia. We got some Slav mercenaries, and we got some archers here as well. So let me see, actually, real quick. Where are my archers? I'm gonna send them up front. I'm actually first gonna clear the front area, send them back. and put the archers first. I'm gonna use them to kind of thin out enemy numbers. We have the cavalry. I'm gonna send them to the side. So this is our general. I'm gonna keep him safe for the time being and resort to using him only if I have a sure thing, like if I have a flank available, or like if the enemy is retreating. So we have Italian Spear Militia. We have one more unit of Italian Spear Militia. Let's send these up front. And Slav Mercenaries. Like, I could potentially send in Slav Mercenaries first to kind of get them started, and having Italian militia behind them to follow quickly behind. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna select my archers. I'm gonna disable fire at will mode just so I can watch the arrows rain down. And let's see, we get 2 archer militias and 2 Croat Axemen. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna send them to run and start attacking the Axemen. No, sorry, the archers. I'm actually gonna send my Slav mercenaries first, and then our Spear Militia is gonna go second. Actually, I'm gonna let these guys walk, right? Because I don't want to tire them out. Like, fatigue in this game is a legit thing. So if you send them running all over the place the entire battle, they're gonna get tired, and their effectiveness, like their combat effectiveness, is legitimately gonna be hindered. Okay, so let me see. I turned my back to the enemy and I paid the price for it. So I'm gonna let the peasant archers soak up the arrow fire while Croat Axemen are marching. Where are my mercenaries? Okay, my mercenaries are close. Go. And you guys are gonna follow. And I'm actually gonna send my general to the side just to have the flanks ready. And I'm gonna have my archers start thinning out the Croat Axemen. The ones in the back, because if you have your archers shoot, oh my god, look at this rain of arrows, so cool. If you have your archers shoot the close to where your units are, like some random arrows are gonna in fact hit your people as well. So you gotta be careful who you're shooting with your archers.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
So the Slav mercenaries are doing good against the Croat Axemen. Like, they are gonna be killing our Slav mercenaries, definitely, but we have Italian Spear Militia right behind, ready to go. And I'm actually gonna, since the Slav mercenaries are pretty expendable, I am not gonna flinch at the idea of some of my Slav mercenaries dying to crossbow fire and arrow fire. So we got additional units, one more unit of Croat Axemen here. I'm gonna wait for them to be engaged into combat so I can send in my cavalry to run down the archer militia. If they start charging and my cavalry, just pull back. Start shooting here.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset,
they're kind of
but
indecisive.
our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
So we are now starting to send the rain of arrow fire on the Croat Axemen. Let's see. I want to keep an eye on the general, just because of these guys. They're gonna want to go after my general for sure. Go boys, charge. One of my Slav mercenaries, they're also coming as well. Okay. So we are definitely outnumbering them here. The problem is we're kind of in a very tight spot, which makes their archers much more efficient than our archers. Let's see if we can try to make them spread. We're gonna do the same for our archers as well. Let's see if we can make them spread. You can click the unit formation to either loose or tight. If you set them to loose, the enemy arrow fire is gonna be much harder to hit your people, but you are gonna have a harder time filling in your gaps. If, for example, the enemy infantry charges at you or the enemy cavalry charges at you. Go ahead, charge at these guys as well. So for an example, right now, we have significantly thinned out their Croat axemen here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to order my people to attack these axemen right here. And I'm going to have my melee units mop up this segment of the troops right here. I need these guys to engage so I can have a clear approach to the archers with my cavalry. That's kind of a big deal for me. I need these archers out of the way. Okay, so we have our first retreat. The Croat axemen are retreating. So you guys are going to charge at the Croat axemen. I'm going to have my archers shoot their archers in the back. And I'm going to have my cavalry on standby. So you guys make sure you're targeting these guys. I'm going to send a unit to these Croat axemen. I'm going to send these guys here, and I'm going to send the Slav mercenaries to attack the archer militia. And we have an interesting situation now.
It is unwise to
We could
praise the day
technically
before sunset, but
charge in
our
with our
men are
cavalry
winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
attack them from both sides. Let's actually try and do that. We'll charge at them. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of open space here, so charging is going to be hard. But if you're in an open battle, charging deals like extra damage. So let me see. I want these guys are headed
The
here.
enemy are badly blooded. They have
These
lost half
guys
their men.
Here, and I want my archers thinning out their archer militia. Good. So let me see what's the situation looking like here. Where's our general? Our general is kind of in the front, which is suboptimal, so to say. So let's actually pull our cavalry back. We are starting to lose a decent amount of them. Let's just pull them back. Our men are entering the city. We can now remove the loose formation and go back to tight formation just so we can squeeze in faster into the city and start dealing with them. And I'm actually going to do the following. My general's bodyguard is going to go here. We're going to go flank them from behind. We're going to go target these archer militia guys right here. And our archers are actually going to start targeting these guys, helping out the spear militia here. We got the Slav mercenaries. Go, go. Slav mercenaries, go. Where's our cavalry? There it is. Nice. Okay, get here. Be ready to charge. So their archer militia, one of them is almost completely wiped out. Their second one is trying their best. We have our so for example, you can see them, they're very tired, which means their combat effectiveness is going to be drastically reduced. Right? And you also have their morale, like these guys are shaken, these guys are steady, which means they're much more resistant to routing the battlefield. So I'm gonna tell my archers to stop firing right now because we're gonna kill a lot more people there. So my archers are just gonna stop altogether, and we're gonna let our melee guys kill everything else. Get these guys, these guys, these Slavs get these guys, and this should be a victory.
Our men have taken
They're like
control
also
of the
moving
city.
super slow as well because they're like very tired. So something to keep in mind. Definitely. And now for this, we just wait for a couple of them to disappear. So we lost 47% of our units, and they lost 99. We probably could have done this a bit better, but given the units that we have,
Praise to our Lord.
It's
Our men have slain
sure.
the enemy general.
we've killed the enemy
Now
general,
his men will lose heart.
and that means that all units on their battlefield are going to suffer
All of Christendom will be
a big
awed
morale
by the victory we
decrease,
have won
and a lot
here
of them
today.
would even start to fall back and withdraw. So, killing the enemy generals, but and enemy kings, enemy leaders, is always a good tactic if you want to instill fear into the enemy army and make them lose morale and will to fight. So there we have it. We have the clear victory. We deployed 1,000 men, lost 400. They deployed almost 500 and lost all of them. And that's pretty much it. So let me see here. We have several casualties healed as well. We got some prisoners. And let's see. We did sustain a decent amount of casualties, not gonna lie. But I mean, that's gonna be more than okay. A lot of them healed up. Especially the peasant archers, which is going to be kind of handy because we're not going to be able to train peasant archers in the city, but we will be able to train the spear militia, so we can replace their numbers, but the peasant archers are not going to be able to be trained in the city. They're being trained in castles. So with that in mind, we're just going to sack the settlement, and
We have crushed them.
nothing
This
to
place
be
is
done
yours,
here.
my
Population growth is 4.5%. I'm actually gonna drop the tax rate to 5%, and I'm actually gonna create land clearance. So this is also gonna improve our population growth. So it's gonna go from 5 to 5.5%, right? So Zagreb is gonna grow super fast, and that's what I want to happen, right? Because I want to upgrade Zagreb to a proper town, so I can establish trade and income from that city as well. So there you have it. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'll just send my spy down here to so this is my second target, Durazzo, also a village. I'm probably gonna keep this into a town as well. Make sure that we get our income up and going. And for the time being, I have to consider Florence as our next conquest in line.
Noble lord.
So with that being, guys, I would end this stream today here. I love this game a lot. It's super fun. I hope the microphone sounds great. I'll see if I'll bake this into a regular series. Maybe I'll stream it, maybe I'll just pre-record it and do some editings. I have to decide how long of a video it should be, or a stream, and give it like a general thought of how I'm gonna do this content, if I'm gonna do it. And as soon as I figure it out, I'm gonna let you guys know, and I'm gonna start pumping out videos as soon as possible. Thank you everyone who has joined the stream, who has joined the Mad Pumpkin today with our new game exploration and new microphone testing. I'm really hoping it turns out very well. So far I'm liking it a lot. I've tested it out a little bit, but this is kind of like real-time in action testing of raw sound, and I want to see how it sounds. Thanks everyone for staying tuned, and I'll see you guys